said about it. Okay, against the backdrop of hitting and spitting, let's also remember that Donald Trump not only did not believe that any type of punishment was appropriate for any of the Jan 6ers, even the most violent, even the ones that were detained pre-trial because of their violence, because they used medieval weapons, makeshift or brought with them or homemade, or used police material to beat police officers. This was a bloody battle on the steps of the Capitol our nation has never seen. I'm not saying all of the people, but the 2,000 that got arrested and indicted and prosecuted and convicted, most of them, yeah. So Donald Trump didn't call that, as Stephen Miller just called California, a fight for our civilization. That was a fight for our civilization. What else do you call insurrectionists that attack the Capitol, try to burn it to the ground, and try to assassinate elected officials? And the carnage that was left in its wake, emotional and physical. Mainly law enforcement. So to Donald Trump, that was a peaceful protest. That was a walk in the park. That was a day of love. These are his words. And then he pardoned them all, giving license and permission to the next set of insurrectionists to do it again when they don't like it. All right. But then split screen, right? And we should do a split screen of the video of them crawling all over the Capitol, or the photo of what started in California as a peaceful protest, not what the Trump administration is calling migrants are setting self-driving cars on fire. I don't know how they know they're migrants. I think there's lots of fair-minded people who have proper immigration status or are American citizens, born here or naturalized or otherwise, or green card holders that have a right to First Amendment expression. But Donald Trump wants the fight. He's picked the fight. He sent in a very Ray Bradbury way, he sent in firefighters not to put out the fire, but to burn the books, to stoke the flames. He wants more kerosene and gasoline on the flames, not less. Why? Because it serves his political purpose. As Newt Gingrich just recently said, the old Mandarin of the Trump of the Reagan era and of post-Reagan era, he said, this is perfect. This sets up the two parties. One party is for law and order, and the other party is for migrant rights and lawlessness. You see? Do you see how it's being? You see the oil painting that's being created in front of our eyes? How do we stop it? Well, Gavin Newsom is doing his part, right? Gavin Newsom is doing his part to call out the illegal sending in of the National Guard by Donald Trump over the objection of the governor. The only time that's ever happened is in 1965, when Lyndon Johnson, to protect civil rights and civil rights protesters, sent in the National Guard. Again, this is our time for a Selma, Alabama, walk over the bridge in Selma moment, Gandhi moment, Martin Luther King moment of peaceful protest, not the Rodney King brain the trucker moment, because you're playing into Donald Trump's hand. Yeah. And so you've got Gavin Newsom doing the right thing. I'm sure there's going to be a lawsuit that's going to be filed against this illegal exercise by Donald Trump. The problem is Donald Trump lives, as any vampire, in the twilight, in the darkness. And this is sort of a gray area. You think it wouldn't be, but this is sort of a gray area about if you're a president and you don't exercise the Insurrection Act, if you don't invoke the Insurrection Act, and you do it through other statutes to quell violence, and the state doesn't cooperate with you, are you allowed to commandeer the National Guard and take it over? That's not as crystal clear as you would think. It sounds wrong. I could certainly make the argument under the case law that it is wrong, but the Supreme Court, again, is going to have to make another law under the name of a case involving Trump. There's going to be entire law school textbooks devoted to Trump law made under Donald Trump's first two terms or thereafter. It will fill several volumes. with the Supreme Court. Physio, chiropractic, and massage therapy are all great resources for when you need them. But going to these appointments every few months does not give me the ultimate results I'm looking for when it comes to my well-being. It's taking daily, even hourly opportunities to move my body that makes the biggest difference. This has only been made possible for me with this episode's sponsor, Uplift Desk. Uplift Desk is at the forefront of ergonomic solutions, promoting better posture and health through adjustable standing desks designed to help you live a healthier lifestyle. Plus, they have all kinds of accessories to keep you moving throughout the day, even if you work for only a few hours at your desk. For me, I love the Bamboo Motion X board. It makes me feel like snowboarding without waiting for the lift. Standing while I work gives me the room to move and helps me get the creative juices flowing. Moving throughout the day helps me focus and stay productive. And I'm way more alert when I'm using my standing desk and I have more energy. A desk should fit the user, which is why Uplift Desk has a lot of customization options, so you can build your perfect workspace. With more than 200,000 configurations, Uplift Desk allows you to tailor your workspace to perfectly suit your style and needs, empowering you to create an environment that inspires productivity and creativity. For me, I built the custom standing desk of my dreams from Uplift for my Popak Media offices, where I make a lot of my hot takes and content for Legal AF. And so I went all out with a heritage oak top and their advanced angled keypad for the lift part. Make this year yours by going to upliftdesk.com/legalaf and use our code LegalAF to get 4 free accessories, free same-day shipping, free returns, and an industry-leading 15-year warranty that covers your entire desk, and an extra discount off your entire order. That's upliftdesk.com/legalaf for a special offer, and it's only available at our link. Start 2025 right. Stand, move, thrive with Uplift Desk. So they're going to have to ultimately decide, what can we do in the meantime? Not play into their hand, not fall into their mouth, not give the Stephen Millers of the world and others the justification to crack down on blue states, on our immigration position, on our First Amendment immigration position. You got Tom Homan, the border czar, of course, telling the world, flexing muscle, we'll arrest anybody that gets in the way of our immigration plans, or our federal officers or ICE officers. And that includes elected officials. Yeah, we know. We've seen it. We've seen it. You've already arrested a judge and an elected official, a member of Congress, in this White House, and we're only like 150 days in to the White House. So let me go back to back again with the clips, and you'll see as I started. When you spit, we hit. Permission for excessive force and brutality by law enforcement. No other way to read that. And the loot and shoot comment back to back. Let's roll it.
Do you foresee those protests spreading to other cities, Chicago, New York, for example, in the next few days?
We're going to be watching it very closely. And when they spit at people, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit. And I told them, nobody's going to spit on our police officers. Nobody's going to spit on our military, which they do as a common thing. They get up to them this far away and then they start spitting in their face. That happens, they get hit very hard. What are the rules to be engaged with the federal street?
Well, I've heard that phrase for a long time. I don't know where it came from, where it originated. I view that phrase as...
In 1967, the Miami police...
Well, I don't know. I've also heard from many other places, but I've heard it for a long time, as most people have. And frankly, it means when there's looting, people get shot and they die. And if you look at what happened last night and the night before, you see that. It's very common. And that's the way that was meant, and that's the way I think it was supposed to be meant. But I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it originated. I wouldn't know a thing like that. But I will say it's very accurate in the sense that when you do have looting, like you had last night, people often get shot and they die. And that's not good, and we don't want that to happen.
All right. this is the same guy. This is the same guy. And then he tried to act